The sky falls. The night began like any other in New York City. Skyscrapers glittered with lights, traffic hummed across bridges, and millions of people carried on with their lives. Then, at 11:59 p.m., the stars disappeared. Not because of clouds, not because of a storm, but because something vast had arrived. A rumble rolled across the sky like thunder, and suddenly the heavens split open. A colossal alien rift tore through the darkness, jagged and glowing with violet fire. From it poured ships, thousands of them, sleek, black, and bristling with weapons that glowed with unearthly light. People froze. Cars stopped. Phones dropped. Then came the voice. It didn't come through radios, not through televisions, but directly into every human mind, cold and merciless. I am Zorath, warlord of the Netherborn Legion. This world is weak. This world is mine. And then the sky burned. Alien fleets opened fire, raining plasma bolts that exploded into towers of flame. Entire city blocks crumbled in seconds. Bridges snapped like toys. The skyline that had stood proud for generations collapsed under the assault. Civilians screamed, running through the streets as fire fell around them. Helicopters lifted into the air, only to be torn from the sky. Fighter jets scrambled from nearby bases, missiles streaking toward the alien fleet. None of them hit. The missiles dissolved mid-air, swallowed by the invaders' energy shields. Hope died as quickly as the stars had vanished. But hope, sometimes, wears a mask. A red and blue blur swung into the chaos, flipping between collapsing buildings. Spider-Man landed on a crumbling rooftop, his mask reflecting the fires below. He looked around at the devastation, his voice shaky but determined. Okay, Spidey, big invasion. Alien overlord. Whole planet at stake. No pressure. He leapt into action, whipping debris out of the air to save trapped civilians. A falling bus hurtled toward the ground. Spider-Man's web snapped out, halting it just inches above the street as terrified passengers cheered. Then the sky thundered again. But this time, it wasn't alien fire. It was lightning. From above the clouds, a storm erupted. Thunder cracked like cannons as lightning split the night in blinding bolts. And through the storm descended Thor, the god of thunder, his hammer glowing with fury. He landed with an earth-shaking crash, eyes burning with light as he looked at the alien fleet. Zorath, Thor roared, his voice echoing across the city. You dare bring war to Midgard? Then feel the storm's wrath. He hurled Mjolnir into the sky. Lightning exploded outward, striking alien warships. One by one, they burst into flames and spiraled downward, crashing into the Hudson River with deafening booms. But the invasion was far from over. High above, streaks of red light cut through the sky. Jets. No, sleeker, sharper, faster. A swarm of alien interceptors screamed down toward Thor, their cannons locking on. And then a familiar voice broke through the chaos. Thor, watch your six. With a burst of blue-white thrusters, Iron Man rocketed into the fight. His suit gleamed against the firestorm, repulsors blazing as he fired volleys of energy that shredded the incoming fighters. He hovered beside Thor, his HUD analyzing the alien fleet. Okay, big guy, here's the bad news. Their tech is absorbing half our hits. The good news, I've got about 1,000 more toys to throw at them. He unleashed a barrage of micromissiles, weaving between blasts as his systems hacked into alien signals. Across the city, civilians pointed upward, cheering. For the first time, they saw Earth's defenders standing tall. But the ground trembled. Hard. From beneath the rubble of a collapsed street, a roar erupted. A roar no human throat could ever make. Concrete split apart as a massive green hand smashed through the surface. Then another. And then Hulk pulled himself free, eyes blazing with fury. He slammed his fists into the ground, sending a shockwave that toppled alien war machines advancing through the streets. Hulk smash aliens, he bellowed, charging headlong into the chaos. He ripped apart a walker twice his size, using its own cannon to hammer another into dust. Alien troops fired plasma at him. Hulk shrugged it off, roaring louder as he hurled chunks of metal back at them like meteors. Now, all four heroes stood together, Spider-Man darting through debris to protect civilians, Iron Man battling fleets above, Thor summoning storms, and Hulk tearing through ground forces. For the first time, Xorath faltered. But only for a moment. From the mothership, a shadow descended. Xorath himself appeared, clad in obsidian armor alive with pulsing energy. In his hands burned a spear forged from collapsed stars. He surveyed the four heroes and spoke with venom. So, these are Earth's champions. For against an empire. Pathetic. He raised his spear. The sky darkened further, and an energy wave surged outward, toppling buildings and sending shockwaves across the battlefield. The four heroes braced themselves. Spider-Man clenched his fists, Iron Man charged his repulsors, Thor raised his hammer, and Hulk slammed his fist together. The greatest fight of their lives was about to begin. The sky had fallen, and Earth's last stand had just begun. Clash with Zorath. The city was already in ruins, but when Zorath descended from his mothership, the devastation deepened. His armor, black as obsidian, pulsed with crimson light, veins of energy running across its surface like molten fire. In his hand, he carried a spear forged from collapsed stars, its blade glowing with an energy that bent the very air around it. His crimson eyes scanned the battlefield, and when he spoke, the words thundered inside every ear and every mind. For mortals, do you truly believe you can resist the Netherborn Legion? You are nothing. And tonight, your world burns. The ground cracked as he landed in the heart of Manhattan, rubble scattering in every direction. The alien army formed a circle around him, watching as their warlord faced Earth's defenders alone, not because he needed their help, but because he wanted them to witness. Spider-Man, perched on the side of a half-shattered skyscraper, clenched his fists. Okay, big scary alien boss guy with a death spear. Sure, totally fine. I fight guys in bird costumes all the time. How different can this be? He swung into action first, weaving through debris with dazzling speed. Webs shot out in rapid fire, wrapping around Zorath's spear, pulling at his legs, pinning him against twisted steel. Spider-Man flipped, kicked, and swung with all the agility his superhuman body could manage. But Xorath didn't even flinch. With a flick of his wrist, he shattered the webs as if they were threads of smoke. Then, in a blur, he hurled his spear upward. It missed Spider-Man by inches, but the resulting shockwave tore the building in half. Spider-Man barely managed to sling another web and swing to safety as the skyscraper collapsed in a thunderous crash. Okay, correction, Spidey muttered midair, very different. Iron Man soared next, his thrusters blazing as he unleashed a barrage of repulsor blasts. Each bolt of energy struck Zorath dead on, filling the street with smoke and sparks. For a moment, it looked as though the alien warlord had taken damage. Then Zorath stepped out of the smoke, unharmed. His armor glowed brighter, repulsors absorbed into the crimson veins like fuel into a furnace. Your weapons feed me, Zorath said coldly, raising his hand. A surge of energy pulsed outward, locking onto Iron Man's suit. Stark's HUD flashed red. Systems crashed one by one. Thrusters sputtered, repulsors dimmed, alarms screamed. Oh, that's new, Tony muttered, yanking on emergency controls. He was slammed from the sky, crashing into the street with an explosion of sparks. Thor roared in defiance, his eyes blazing with lightning. He leapt forward, Mjolnir raised high, summoning a storm that split the heavens. Bolts of divine fury rained down, striking Zorath with thunderous force. The ground erupted in flames, and for the first time, the alien staggered a step, but then the spear twirled. With one strike, Zorath absorbed the lightning into its blade. The storm itself twisted, funneled into his armor. His voice echoed with mockery. Even the god's fury bends to me. Thor's jaw tightened. He launched himself forward anyway, colliding with Zorath in a flurry of hammer strikes. Sparks and shockwaves shook the battlefield, but every clash ended the same. Zorath standing firm, Thor forced back. Finally, the alien warlord struck with the blunt end of his spear, sending the god of thunder flying through 3 buildings in a trail of dust and rubble. The city went silent. All that remained was the sound of footsteps, heavy, furious footsteps. Then came the roar. Hulk, the green behemoth charged with unstoppable fury, leaping from the ruins to slam both fists into Zorath's chest. The ground exploded beneath them, asphalt cratering under the force. Hulk hammered again and again, each blow like a cannon. Alien troops scrambled, their war machines toppling from the shockwaves. But Zorath only grinned. He caught Hulk's fist mid-strike and squeezed. The unthinkable happened. Hulk howled in pain. So much rage, so much strength, Zorath growled, tightening his grip. And yet, it is nothing compared to me. With terrifying force, he slammed Hulk into the pavement. then hurled him across the battlefield like a broken doll. Hulk crashed through an office tower, bringing the entire structure down in a storm of concrete. The heroes regrouped, battered, blooded, shaken. Spider-Man crouched on a lamppost, chest heaving. Iron Man's armor sparked with failing circuits. Thor wiped blood from his lip, lightning flickering weakly. Hulk staggered to his feet, eyes still blazing, but his body slower than before. They had all struck with everything they had, and Zorath still stood untouched. The alien warlord planted his spear into the ground, unleashing another wave of energy that knocked the four back once more. His crimson eyes glowed brighter as his voice filled the ruins of Manhattan. You are heroes of this world, yet you bleed. You break, you falter, and when you fall, Earth will finally kneel. Spider-Man looked to the others, fear etched in his voice. Guys, I think we just found out we're way out of our league. Thor clenched his hammer. Iron Man pulled himself to his feet. Hulk cracked his knuckles through the pain. They weren't beaten yet, but they knew now. This was no ordinary enemy. This was a warlord who could stand against gods. And if Earth had any hope of surviving, they would need more than strength. They would need unity. Unity forged in battle. The ruins of Manhattan smoldered, the once proud skyline broken into jagged teeth of fire and steel. The alien warlord Zorath stood unshaken in the center of it all, his obsidian armor glowing with crimson light, his star-forged spear pulsing with energy stolen from the very heroes who defied him. Around him, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk struggled back to their feet, battered, bleeding, and humbled. For the first time, they understood. None of them could win alone. Spider-Man crouched low, chest heaving, the taste of dust thick in his mouth. His quips had faded into silence, replaced by the cold edge of fear. He's too strong. He's unstoppable. Then, looking at the others, a thought sparked. Unless, maybe we're not meant to do this separately. Guys, Spidey called out, swinging down onto the cracked asphalt beside them. I think I figured something out. He's feeding on us one at a time. What if we stop fighting like four separate heroes and start fighting like one team? Iron Man's suit sparked, warning lights blaring across his HUD. He winced, but a grin tugged at his lips. Kid's got a point. I've been trying to out-tech him. Thor's been trying to out-thunder him. Hulk's been trying to out-smash him. But what if we synchronize? Thor's jaw tightened, his eyes glowing faintly with lightning. A storm alone may break, but when it joins with fire and stone, it becomes unstoppable. Perhaps Midgard's mortals are wiser than I thought. Hulk cracked his knuckles, snarling. Team up, then Hulk smash harder. The plan was unspoken, but understood. For the first time, their strengths would intertwine. Zorath raised his spear, crimson energy spiraling into a storm overhead. His voice thundered across the battlefield. Your defiance amuses me, but unity will not save you. Tonight, your champions die together. He charged, spear cleaving through the ground like molten lightning. But this time, the heroes moved as one. Spider-Man darted forward, his webs shooting out in rapid fire. He didn't try to restrain Zorath. Instead, he targeted weak points along the alien's armor, tagging glowing nodes where the crimson energy pulsed brightest. Iron Man, follow the markers. On it. Tony shouted, blasting upward into the smoke. His repulsors locked onto the web nodes and fired concentrated beams, not to destroy, but to overload. The armor shuddered, crimson light flickering erratically for the first time. Thor seized the moment, summoning a vortex of storm clouds overhead. Lightning cascaded down, not aimed at Zorath directly, but at Iron Man's repulsor streams. The fusion of Stark's technology and Thor's godly lightning amplified the blast tenfold, shaking Zorath's spear from his grip. The warlord snarled, his crimson eyes blazing. He reached for his weapon, but the ground itself betrayed him. Hulk erupted from the rubble, fists glowing faintly as the Earth's molten core coursed through him. He grabbed Zorath by the waist and roared. Hulk, together, strong. He slammed Zorath into the ground with seismic force, the shockwave rippling across the city. Buildings still standing crumbled, alien machines toppled, and the streets split wide open. For the first time, the warlord staggered. His armor cracked, glowing fissures spreading across its surface like glass about to shatter. Spider-Man landed in front of him, crouched low, eyes narrowed. Not so invincible now, are you? Zorath roared in fury, unleashing a crimson energy wave that knocked them all back. His armor pulsed violently, repairing itself, but slower this time. He raised his spear again, determined to end them. Iron Man's HUD flickered with red alerts, but his voice was steady. One shot, all four of us, same time. We overload him together. Thor raised Mjolnir. Hulk clenched his fists. Spider-Man's webs tightened around the spear, holding it just enough. The four looked at one another, no words needed. Then they struck. Lightning, repulsors, raw fury, and precision webs combined into a single blinding blast of power. The explosion lit up the night like a second sun. Zorath screamed as his armor cracked, then shattered, shards of obsidian flying into the air. His spear exploded into molten fragments, the energy within released in a shockwave that ripped across the city. When the light faded, the battlefield was silent. Zorath staggered, smoke rising from his broken armor, crimson light flickering weakly in his chest. He dropped to one knee, his voice a growl of rage and disbelief. Impossible. No world has ever resisted me. Hulk stomped forward, fists clenched. This different. Thor raised his hammer. Iron Man charged his repulsors. Spider-Man steadied his aim. But before they could strike again, Zorath's body pulsed with crimson light. His form dissolved into a storm of energy, sucked back toward the mothership above. His laughter echoed as he vanished. You may have won this battle, but the Legion is endless. This is only the beginning. The skies trembled as the motherships pulled back, retreating into the rift they had come from. The clouds cleared, revealing the battered city below. Fires still burned, rubble lay in heaps, but the people cheered. Because for the first time that night, Earth had stood united. Spider-Man dropped to the cracked pavement, mask tilted toward the sky. So, does this make us official now? Like Avengers 2.0. Iron Man smirked through his cracked helmet. Kid, after tonight, we might be Avengers 10.0. Thor placed a hand on Hulk's shoulder. Hulk just grunted, but all of them looked back toward the stars, knowing this was no victory, only a reprieve. And that Zorath's warning was true. The real war was still to come. Earth's last roar. The night was finally quiet. Smoke drifted across the broken skyline of New York. Fires still raged in scattered pockets. Alien wreckage smoldered in the streets, and the once proud city stood wounded but alive. For the first time since the invasion began, the skies were clear of enemy ships. On a fractured stretch of asphalt, four figures stood amid the ruins, battered, bruised, but unbroken. Spider-Man crouched low, mask torn, suit scorched, his chest rising and falling with exhaustion. Iron Man's armor sparked, his HUD flashing critical warnings as he forced the suit to hold together. Thor, covered in dust and blood, leaned on Mjolnir, lightning still crackling faintly around him. And Hulk, chest heaving, fists clenched, stood like a mountain scarred but immovable. They had done the impossible. Together, they had forced Xorath, the warlord of the Netherborn Legion, to retreat. The people who survived cheered from the rubble. Civilians, shaken but alive, raised their fists, shouting in unison. Around the world, broadcasts relayed the images. Earth's champions had stood against an alien god and lived to tell the tale. For the first time that night, hope burned brighter than fear. But the heroes knew the truth. This wasn't the end. Above them, the colossal mothership still hovered, its obsidian hull cracked but not destroyed. From within, Zorath's laughter rolled across the sky like thunder. Fools, you believe you have won. What you fought tonight was only my shadow. The mothership's core pulsed, sending out a beam of crimson light into the heavens. It wasn't an attack, it was a signal. The Legion hears my call. My brothers, my armies, my gods of war, they will come. And when they arrive, your planet will not resist. It will burn. The beam vanished into the cosmos, disappearing among the stars. The mothership shook violently, then tore itself back into the rift, vanishing as suddenly as it came. The skies cleared once more, leaving only silence. Spider-Man pulled off his mask, sweat dripping down his face. So, did anyone else hear the whole "this was just my shadow" thing? Because, yeah, I'm not sleeping tonight. Iron Man limped forward, his suit sparking with every step. Kid, he wasn't bluffing. That wasn't their army. That was their scout. Thor's grip tightened on Mjolnir. His voice was grave, edged with fury. If such power belongs to but one commander, then the full Legion is a storm the likes of which this realm has never seen. And it is coming. Hulk snorted, cracking his knuckles. Let them come. Hulk smash. All. The others managed tired smiles, but the weight of what lay ahead hung heavy in the air. Around them, emergency crews began pulling survivors from rubble. Civilians rushed to thank the heroes. Cameras flashed, but the four barely noticed. Their minds weren't on victory. They were on the signal streaking through the void, carrying Earth's defiance to the farthest corners of the galaxy. Spider-Man looked up at the stars, his voice quiet. Guys, this was just the beginning, wasn't it? Iron Man sighed, his helmet dented, eyes fixed on the heavens. Yeah, kid, the universe just found out Earth won't kneel, which means they'll be back with everything they've got. Thor lifted Mjolnir, lightning crackling faintly again. Then we shall be ready. By Odin's name, we shall make them fear this world. Hulk growled in agreement, slamming his fist together one last time. The sound echoed like a war drum, a promise of battles yet to come. The camera of the moment, if it were a film, would rise slowly above the ruins of New York, showing the four silhouettes standing tall against the firelit horizon. Behind them, smoke curled into the night sky, blending with the stars that now shimmered ominously above. And in that vast, endless dark, something watched. Something listened. Somewhere far across the galaxy, countless warships stayed. Alien eyes opened. Armies prepared. The Legion was coming. But for now, Earth's last roar still echoed through the cosmos. A roar not of defeat, but of defiance. And as the heroes stood together in the rubble, exhausted but united, one truth burned brighter than ever. This was not the end. This was the beginning of a war that would decide the fate of the universe.